If you're over 55 and you're waking up tired, groggy, or frustrated with your sleep, let me start with this. Your sleep is probably not broken. It's changed. Aging changes sleep, and that's the reality. But here's the part that most people don't hear often enough. You still have a lot more control of your sleep than you think. So if you're waking up at 3 a.m., if you're waking multiple times a night, and if you feel exhausted even after sleeping, or if you're relying on caffeine or over-the-counter sleep pills just to get through the day, this video is for you. Starting tonight. Today I'm going to walk you through the 8 practical science-backed ways that seniors can sleep better. Not lectures, not guilt. This is just clear adjustments that actually work for older sleep. Welcome to the UnRetired, where you're not done, but you're finally doing what you want. If you're rethinking your health, your lifestyle in retirement, and how you want this next chapter to feel physically, make sure you like this video and subscribe so you don't miss future conversations like this. And a quick disclaimer here. Before we continue, this is just for education. It's not medical advice. Remember, everybody's body is different, so make sure you talk with your doctor about what's going to be right for you. Here's what matters. Most age-related sleep problems fall into 3 buckets: habits, biology, and medical issues. The good news is that habits are the things that you can change the fastest and win the fastest on the sleep game. I'm going to give you 8 specific changes, and the first 2 can help as early as tonight, hours from now. So let's start with the one that almost nobody explains. As we age, the timing of melatonin, the hormone that tells your brain that it's nighttime and it's time to relax and let go and go to sleep, starts to move earlier. Your body begins thinking it's later than it actually really is. And that's why so many people over the age of 60 start feeling tired at the end of the day, sleepy earlier in the evening, and then they wake up earlier in the morning. Sometimes actually way too early. I mean, it's not uncommon for me to sometimes wake up at 4:30, even though my normal wake up time is about 6:30. It's not random, it's not failure, it just is gonna happen to all of us. The mistake is fighting it blindly, forcing yourself to stay up late, which doesn't work for me at all. If I stay up late, I'm still getting up early. But then getting frustrated when you wake up at 4 or 5 or before 6 when you want to. The better approach is to stabilize your schedule. Keep a consistent bedtime and wake time that matches your natural biology and your natural rhythms, instead of kind of trying to work against it or fighting against it. Tip number 2 is understanding melatonin and use it carefully and appropriately. Melatonin itself is not a sleeping pill. It's a time signal. And for some older adults, a very low dose, often much lower than what's sold in the store shelves, taken about 60 to 90 minutes before bedtime, can help shift thinking. And for others, it does nothing, and it can cause some side effects as well. Personally, I have a lot of friends that swear by melatonin. It works for me occasionally, but most of the time I'd prefer some of the other things here. But trust me, it does work for some people. So the key takeaway is this: melatonin works best for timing and not for knocking you out. It's not a sleeping pill. And because it can interact with other medications, this is always a conversation that you should really have with your doctor before trying it. Tip number 3 is cut caffeine earlier than you think. That's not happening for me because I'm recording this in the morning, so I'm still enjoying my cup of joe. But this is something that I've started doing, is that I don't really have caffeine after noon. This one also surprises a lot of other people. As we age, caffeine, it just sticks around in your body longer. So even if you don't feel wired, your body may still be processing it well into the evening. You know, that afternoon coffee or even tea, in my case, one of the things I like is Coke Zero. It can quietly sabotage your sleep. So a good rule of thumb for many people over 60 is to start moving your caffeine cutoff earlier in the day, sometimes even before noon. In my case, it's about 10:30 is the last time I'll have a coffee, and at lunch I may have, Coke Zero that I talked about earlier. But after 2, I'm not doing anything. And again, that's me. I know a lot of other friends who are cutting it off much sooner than that. So just because you can fall asleep doesn't mean that caffeine isn't fragmenting your sleep later in the night. And tip number 4, fade caffeine instead of relying on willpower. So the idea of cutting it off feels absolutely miserable, so don't white knuckle it. And I'll admit myself, I am happily addicted to my morning coffee and I'm okay with it. It doesn't really affect my health. If anything, I feel like it stimulates my immune system and wakes me up and makes me feel better a lot of times. But if I had to cut it cold turkey, that would be really hard. Have I cut back and have I decreased it? Yes, 100%. For everybody else, keep your ritual, but lose the overstimulation. Start by switching your last cup for a week and see how that goes. Maybe move that second or third cup to decaf, or certainly if you love a coffee in the afternoon, that's a good strategy as well. But what we're saying here is gradually reduce your total intake over time. I used to drink 5-6 cups of coffee a day. Now I just drink 2 large coffees and I'm generally great, and occasionally if I'm out somewhere I might have another one, but I'll opt for decaf. So this approach works far better than doing any kind of abrupt cutting out of your thing, going cold turkey, especially if it's pleasurable and it's been a part of your routine for literally your whole life or decades. So let me pause here and ask you something. What's your biggest sleep struggle right now? Is it falling asleep, staying asleep, or waking up too early, or worse yet, just feeling exhausted throughout the day? Please drop a comment below and share your experience. I read everyone, and I am shocked by how many other comments and readers and viewers of this really appreciate people sharing their stories. Let's move to another big one, and that's number 5. Stop accidental naps, especially between 1 and 3 p.m. Now, I know when we retire, a lot of people like this to take a little cat nap, or some people really lean into the naps. But that early afternoon window is dangerous for older sleep. When you unintentionally fall asleep on the couch, even for just 20 or 30 minutes, you can steal from your nighttime sleep drive. And that makes it harder to stay asleep later on in the evening. So if you're feeling sleepy in that window, the better move is to get outside for sunlight, move your body, change environments. Another hack that I will do is I feel sleepy. Sometimes I'll just lay on the floor for 5 minutes, but not let myself fall asleep. Sometimes that just resets my relaxation and gives me a little bit of a burst. If you like napping, planned naps, they can be okay if they're short and intentional and they happen at the same time every day, and you kind of build that into your life rhythm. But the accidental naps, they can quietly sabotage all of your nighttime sleep. And trust me, I have a lot of friends, I personally am not a big napper, but I have a lot of friends who swear by a 20-minute nap at some point, but they do it the same time every day, and that's the key. Remember, it's the accidental nap and the dozing off that can actually kind of screw up your sleep pattern. Tip number 6 is protect your sleep environment aggressively. Older sleep is lighter and more fragmented, and that means that light, noise, temperature, they matter a lot more than they used to. So aim for a darker room, a cooler room, consistent sound like a fan or white noise. In my case, years ago, I started using earplugs, and I found that earplugs just immediately gave me a white noise. It was almost Pavlovian. When I heard the white noise, I knew my body, it was time for my body to relax and start letting go and go to sleep. And if you get up at night, use low-level lighting, never bright overhead lights. This is a really key one for me because I often get up once to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. The key is I never turn on any of the lights. Now, there's a lot of people out there who swear by never having their mobile phone anywhere near them when they're sleeping. I like mine because I use it as an alarm and I use it as a nightlight. I don't look at it, but I'll pick it up, point it towards the ground, and turn the light on, and I'll walk to the bathroom that way. So I don't need to turn on lights. Look, you can't change your biology, but you can reduce the triggers that wake you up. And light to me is one of the things that just absolutely fires my whole system going. All right, tip number 7 is replace your mattress sooner than you used to. As bodies age, pressure points change faster. And a mattress that was fine 10 years ago may be causing micro awakenings that you don't even realize are happening. So if your mattress is 6 or 7 years old and you wake up with aches and stiffness, it may be contributing to a broken sleep. And look, for pressure relief, proper support, and solid edge support, a bad mattress can turn sleep into fragmented sleep. And I'll say personally that this has happened to me multiple times where I went out and I actually made an investment in a really good mattress. But because I put so much money into it, I thought, oh, this thing's gonna last for 10 years. And the reality is when you sleep on it every night, especially if you're with your partner or your wife or husband, they do wear out. They absolutely wear out. And so that's something to think about. lot, and occasionally I'll wake up and go, it's time for a new mattress. So that's one thing that I would also recommend highly is look at your mattress, make sure you know when it's kind of at end of life or not keeping the form of when you bought it. Tip number 8, treat medical issues first and then review your medications. And this one is critical, so listen up here. Many sleep problems in older adults aren't just insomnia, they're driven by something else. Sleep apnea, for example. This is one that sneaks up, particularly in menopausal women, but it can affect anybody. Restless legs or limb movements, medical timing or dosage, or the chronic overuse of PM sleep aids. This is a common one. People think, oh, well, I'm not really taking anything narcotic. They sell it at the grocery store, so it's gotta be safe. But you can become addicted to those things and they can lose their effectiveness and actually be counterproductive. Now, another thing is there's loud snoring, gasping, or heavy daytime sleepiness. You should ask about screening for sleep apnea. If sleep worsened after starting a medication, then you should review it and discuss it with your doctor because it may just be a side effect. So again, when you're given either over-the-counter or prescription drugs, always good to look at the side effects because sometimes sleep is one of the things that it can affect. Avoid relying on nightly over-the-counter sleep aids long-term. They often worsen your sleep quality, and worse than that, they also can impact your cognition over time. And let's face it, sometimes the sleep problem isn't sleep, it's actually what's driving it. All right, before we wrap up, if this has been helpful, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos here on the UnRetired. All right, let's close with the simple recap and a start tonight plan. Here are the 8 quickly. Expect earlier sleep timing. Use melatonin carefully and correctly if appropriate. Cut caffeine earlier. Fade your caffeine use instead of quitting it abruptly. Avoid accidental naps and protect your sleep environment. Make it your little cocoon at night. Replace aging mattresses and treat medical drivers first. Something, whether it's over the counter or prescribed, look for those side effects. Here's what you can start tonight, and this is a really key one. No caffeine after your normal cutoff time. So I'm still gonna enjoy this last cup of coffee, but this is my last one. No naps after 1 p.m., especially the accidental ones. And if you are gonna nap, make sure it's the same time. Also, a dark, cool, quiet bedroom. And like I said, I'll share my hack. I use earplugs. Low light, if you can get up at night, again, I'll share that hack again that I use, cell phone, but pointed down at the ground or against my leg so it barely emits any light. That's it. Then lastly, this week, start checking out your mattress age. Review your medications and talk to your doctor if you suspect you might have sleep apnea or other issues that sound familiar from this. Remember this, you're not broken. Your sleep biology has changed because you're simply getting older and it's a natural thing. And when you work with it instead of fighting against it, your sleep can get better even later in life. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me today and sweet dreams.